back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing y'all my application video. I already did the nails off camera. These are the two cute nails, coffin square tips. This is what the box looks like, and they are, I don't even know. Yeah, they're the two cute nails, square tip. They're not square, they're coffin tips. I'll put the link down below in my bio so y'all can go get these if y'all want them. I like them, they're pretty good. They're no C curve. All the descriptions are right here. You wanna know what they're about, you can read it. I've been using these for a while now, and I think they're great. Also, I have a discount code for anything too cute. So if you do want to go ahead and buy this, you can and use the code MYAMARIE for 10% off. And let me know how you like them down in the comments. So first, I think I'm gonna be using New Bar by Ideal Beauty or either Teddy Bear. I think I want to go with Teddy Bear. I like Teddy Bear more rather than New Bar. And I'll be using Kiara Sky monomer. I don't really use this like this, so I can't go ahead and use it. But I'll be using the Kiara Sky monomer for this video. Put this in here. I'm gonna be showing y'all bead pickup and everything. This brush I got from a local nail supply store, so I don't even know the brand honestly, but I think it's a size 20 if I'm not mistaken, because that was one of my goals this year, to move up in brush size. So I used to have a 10, so I decided to get a 20. And I adjusted to it well, but first we're going to talk about liquid and brush ratio. So the first thing you always want to do when you pick up an acrylic bead or start to do acrylic is to burp your brush, which I'm sad I did not show y'all that. But if I could go back and see if I got it in the beginning, then you know. But first you want to burp your brush, make sure all of the air bubbles are out of it and everything, and make sure it's just full of liquid so that your brush doesn't have dry spots in it, because that will allow acrylic to get caught in the brush. So just, get it at the bottom. You never want to go in like this or going to the side. Just flatten it out just like that. And as you can see, it's dripping wet. You never want to go in to acrylic with your brush dripping wet, because as you can see, it's falling off. So this liquid, if I put it into this powder right here, all it's going to do is drip in here, and it's going to create hard beads that I don't want. So in order to get the perfect bead or whatever, you're going to want to go to the side and tap it off. It's still liquid in the brush, but as you can see, it's not dripping anymore. So I'm going to show y'all again. So this is fully soaking wet, dripping. Go to the side right here, wipe it off. And the side that you did not wipe is the side that you want to pick your acrylic up on and place it on the nail. So this is, and then basically this would probably be more to medium to large bead. You can only wipe half of it off, but if you feel like you need to wipe more off, just go ahead and wipe it on the side again, and it'll release more liquid. If you want to do a lot of liquid out, then go here from the base of the brush and go all the way down to release more liquid. And your beads depend on how much liquid you pick up, because you want the right amount of liquid for the right amount of size bead. You don't want to be like, oh, I want a large bead and drain the majority of the liquid out, and then you have a dry bead. That's what you don't want. So let's get started. So I'm going to do a medium bead. So I'm going to go halfway like this, and going to pick it up just like that. Now I know for me, I feel like Ideal Beauty is more on the drier side of acrylic, and then when you finish, you're gonna place it down just like that, it's it's on iGel Beauty is really on the drier side when it comes to acrylic. That's just for me. I don't know for anybody else, but that's how I feel. And we're gonna go in again and do the same thing. So these two right here are about like a medium-sized bead. Now a larger bead, you're just gonna tap it like that. Tap, 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 tap. It's more of a larger bead right there. And you're just gonna see the difference between the two beads. Now a smaller bead, you wouldn't need that much liquid. Just do one tap, and that's a smaller bead. And as you get used to like picking up acrylic, you know, you're gonna be able to, you know, gauge it better. Just go in, dip, pick up a bead, and be done with it. You wouldn't have to like, you know, be like, okay, let me dip it in here, and then tap, 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 1, 2, 3. You just go. It'll be like muscle memory. So that's like the basis of it. Basically, this is a large bead. That means you need more monomer in your brush for larger beads, or it will come out dry. These two right here are medium beads. Again, you don't need as much liquid as you did for the large bead, for the medium bead, but you need a fair amount so you get a medium, and you need the least. Your brush does not need to be dry for you to get a small bead, but you don't need much liquid in your brush to get a small bead. You don't want your brush like drenched. Let me show you. Let's see. So their acrylic isn't really runny, so I wouldn't be able to show you with this brand, but I could grab another acrylic. I want to see if I could try with this chisel right here. Or like I could try it with clear, but if I go in and like this, it's not really runny. I'm so good at picking up like beads now, like it doesn't even run for me as much anymore. I'm gonna try with this clear. I'm gonna attempt it because as y'all can see, it's not working for me. Okay, we're going. But like it's really not working for me at the moment. But the point is, it's like if you have too much liquid on your brush, your bead will run off the brush. So I'm gonna try and just like dip it a little bit in there, shake it off, and then try. So like you see how it's dripping? Like it's just dripping around like that, and it's moving. That's what you don't want. That means it's too liquidy, and you never want to place a wet bead like that on the nail, especially close to the cuticle, because you can flood the cuticle and things like that. So you always want to make sure you have the right monomer to powder ratio when it comes down to picking up beads. So we're gonna get into like placing the beads on the nail and everything like that. And if you want to start with acrylic that's not as like that has as much motion, I feel like iGel Beauty is like the best brand to go with. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one since we have a little bit more in here. But iGel Beauty is like the best brand to go with because as you can see, I tried my hardest for it to become liquidy and it just would not. So I personally would recommend it for a beginner if you're looking for something like that. So I'm gonna switch out this napkin real quick. Or I'm gonna switch it out. Okay, and we're good. So we're gonna start with it, and I do have a prep video. So if you guys want to see how you prep, you can also go on my channel and watch that as well. It'll be up. I might link it down below. But if you also want to see how I get my nails to last so long, then I suggest you go watch that video, especially if you're a beginner and you're just like starting to, you know, learn nails and everything. So for my acrylic application, I always start with the bead at around this point in the nail. and you just want to pat it down. You don't want to like drag so hard, because when you drag hard, what you're going to do is you're going to end up wiping the product off, and you're not going to be able to build the nail up if you wipe it off like really hard. So make sure you just like patting it into place. Make sure your brush is always clean and everything. And this wasn't the best bead, I'm not going to lie to you, but make sure it's always clean. And people like to use 3-bead methods, 1-bead methods. I say if you're starting out and you don't really have something down pat, use whatever method that works for you, because you can become really frustrated when it comes down to like the bead method. So 1 bead is like if you're like really advanced. 2 beads is you get into like advanced. But we're gonna place it right there. Place my 2nd bead right there again. This is to build up the nail, build up the apex, because what you want to do is you want to make sure you have strength in your nail, because that is how your nails last when your clients bump them, or when you bump your nail. That's how your nail does not break. That apex is what you need for your nail not to break. So basically you just want to pat it down the nail so that you can build the nail up. But back to the bead situation. So far I've used 2 beads. I'm not a bead counter. If I need more acrylic in a spot, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, I used more than 1 bead. Let me not use another one. If I need that bead, I'm gonna use that bead because I need it. It's something that I need in order for my nail to look good. So see how it's like really uniform. And when you're first starting out, take your time. Don't beat yourself up. Acrylic is not something that you just get in 1 day, 2 days, you know what I'm saying, like that. Because you're gonna have to learn monomer to powder ratio, how to keep your brush clean, things like that, and how to get your nails to look like this so that you don't have to do as much fouling. And I still, even with the many years that I've been doing nails, I still struggle with that sometimes. So it's not like a overnight thing. Sometimes I'm on point, sometimes I'm not on point. It all just depends on the day that I'm having. Like, you could be on point one day, you could be off the next. So now this one, I'm gonna drain out a little bit of that liquid, but you're gonna place it right above it. And this is like your cuticle bead. So what you wanna do is you wanna see, like right now I'm flooding so bad. So what I'm gonna do is just wipe it on the side like that and brush that down, blend it out, brush it down, blend it out. But you don't want to push it up towards the cuticle too much, because you don't want to flood it. But sometimes flooding happens on the sides or whatnot. But you just take the brush, clean it up. Don't stress about it. As long as it's not dry, then you're good. Once it starts to harden and stuff, that's when it gets hard to clean up and everything. So just take your time. And when you flood, that's a problem with too much liquid, not controlling your bead. Bead control is something that you want to, get used to, because if you don't have bead control, then it's going to be really, really hard. So this one, we're going to do a much smaller bead to fill in that back area. And you can do beads as small as this. You can even do smaller beads, but they don't always have to be big beads. I'm going to do 1 bead, and you can see, like, I never place my cuticle bead right at the cuticle. I place it, push it up, and make sure I have enough space so that I don't flood it. Because if I put it so close to the cuticle, then I'm going to flood. So just like that. And again, the nail is not perfect. We're going to go in with another bead, because again, it's not about how little beads you can use. It's about having the right nail structure, what looks right to you. And I'm gonna say this: how my nails look and how someone else's nails look everybody has their own style of nail and how they look. So your nail doesn't have to look like the next nail tech's. It just has to be okay with you. And that's how like you set yourself apart from other nail techs, is you build your own look for nails. Because it's not about like, oh, well, this person's look like this. Because if you do that, you're going to beat yourself up and be like, well, why doesn't my nail look like this? And sometimes you could be like, well, I don't like how her nails look. That's fine. Not everybody likes the same look. So do what makes you different. What brings you in clients and everything. But this is what the nail looks like right here. This is what it looks like from the side. If I could get that from the side. Like that. That's what it looks like. And then when I go in and I file, it's gonna look even better. So this is what they look like. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the other nails. Go in, burp my brush, and you don't just burp your brush at the beginning. You can go in and burp it at any time. Because if it gets like really too dry and the acrylic starts sticking to it, and then like you're moving the brush around, so you're gonna have air pockets in it. Always go in like that. You might see little bubbles come out. If not, then just do it anyways. But burp that brush at the bottom, slide it off, pick up your acrylic. You always want to burp your brush. So I'll pick up my bead. This time I'm going to do a larger bead. Sometimes I wait and I wait and I wait for it to polymerize. Sometimes I don't. But as you can see, it's starting to smooth out. And that's called polymerization. And that's what you're looking for when it comes down to like picking up your beads. Sometimes company like brands, they'll have like a better time when it comes to like their beads polymerizing. So some of them, like when you pick it up instantly, you're ready to put it on the nail. That is for more of people that are comfortable with that type of speed. That means like you know what you're doing, you know where you're gonna place your bead, like you're okay with it setting faster. I don't like fast setting acrylic. I don't like very slow setting acrylic. I like mine to be in the middle. And as someone who's like a beginner, I'm not a beginner, but like someone who's a beginner, they might like, more than likely if you're a beginner, you're going to want like medium set, like not fast, not slow, so you can still play around with it and you're not feel rushed or whatever. Because with this acrylic, I don't feel rushed. I don't feel rushed to where I have to, hurry up and finish and be done with it. Other things that will help your application when it comes down to placing your beads and having better application is your product. You always want to have good product. Now I'm not saying go buy the most expensive thing out there, but you want to have something that will make it feel like it's worth it or whatever. So just like this, brush it down. And as you can see, my brush is starting to get dry. You can kind of see like right here, the acrylic is starting to stick to it. So what you want to do is just go in there, wipe it, and you see. Sometimes you might need some acetone next to you. I know as a beginner, I needed a lot of acetone next to me because in the middle of my sets, I would have to I would have to get the acrylic out of my brush. But as time went on, I got better and better and better with, not needing that next to me. But sometimes if you pick up a bead and you still feel like there's too much liquid in it, drain the back of your brush on the paper towel, and that should fix the issue. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So say if I pick up this much, but I want a small bead like this. So this is too much liquid. So what I'm going to do is drain the back of my brush just like this. And you see how it's not as shiny anymore? It's just like, just kind of just right. And then it's not going to be as liquidy as it was before when I placed it down. Because I would have placed that bead down, that bead would have went literally everywhere. And you do not want your bead to just go anywhere. You want to be able to guide your bead wherever you need it to go, mold it. Basically, that's what you're doing when it comes down to nail. You're molding it to the shape that you want it to be. So act like your acrylic is kind of like clay. Now it moves more, it moves more loosely than clay, but that's what you kind of want your beads to be like clay. Mold it to what you want, the shape you want, how you want it, all of that. Make sure you always clean up your cuticle area if you have any, just a little bit of flooding or anything like that. Because once it gets hard, that stuff is hard to get off from your cuticle area. Ooh, I almost knocked it over. And like, me personally, I don't like the flatness of my apex, so I want to like build it up more than what it is. If y'all can see that, like, I don't like my apex like super flat, so I want to build it up more. And it's all about, again, it's all about preference and what you like on your nails, how you like your client's nails to look and everything like that. And if your client's coming to you and keeps coming to you, that means they like how you're doing their nails. So it's not a problem because yours don't look like someone else's. Just build it up. And I didn't even build it up that much, but I built it up and I like how it looks. I'm having a hard time a little bit because filming, like, I'm trying to stay in the camera for y'all, so I want to hold my hand like this, but this is so uncomfortable. Let's see. And if your bead is still on the wetter side and you feel like it's getting dry and you haven't gotten to where you need to be, you still can add more liquid to your brush and still continue to drag it down instead of letting it all dry all the way and trying to fix it with another bead, because that might be harder than fixing it with another bead. So just feather it down into the other acrylic, and make sure, like, if you get another bead, you always want to be able to blend it. Never have the acrylic just there, and you could tell like the difference between my first and second bead, because that will be like a very, very harsh line, and you don't, the harsher the line, the more fouling you have to do. So make sure you try and blend it as if it's an ombre nail, even though it's not, but you always want to be able to blend the first and second bead seamlessly, so that you don't have that demarcation of, oh, I had one bead and then I picked up another one, because you don't want to be able to notice, and you're going to sit there fouling, trying to get it to where it doesn't show, and sometimes it's hard to get rid of. And sometimes you have to foul, you might foul a little bit too much, and then after you foul a little bit too much, you have to go back in with more acrylic, and you still have to foul again. So try and blend it. Like every bead that y'all see me pick up, I blend, because I don't want it to be harsh or have extra like bumps or whatever. So like this bead, I'm gonna blend. I'm just gonna lightly feather it down just like that. And you can't tell that before that I had another bead there. And then you just want to push this up, push it up. And as you're, as you keep going and building, you just want to keep feathering it down so that it blends and it doesn't show, or it doesn't look like you got like lumps and bumps on your nails and everything like that. Just, feather it down like that. Flatten out the nail a little bit, depending on how you like it. If you like yours more on the flatter side. But it's all about learning technique, powder, and liquid ratio, and things like that. And again, it's not an overnight, like, oh my God, I got this overnight. No. Because let me tell you, I'm going to tell y'all a little story about my first time ever doing nails. It was with one of those Kiss acrylic kits that you could find in like Walmart, Walgreens, any of those places. And I had did my nails. My dad always used to take me to go get my nails done. He's like, tell me when you need your nails done. I'd be like, okay. And one day I was just like, I want to do my own nails. Y'all, I did my own nails. I went to school, and I don't know which lady it was, but I told my friends. My friends was like, oh, who did your nails? And I was like, they was like, oh, you did your nails? I was like, no. I just lied to their face. And I told them, the lady at the shop, she messed me up. I walked out, and I didn't pay. There was no lady. There was no shop. And if you know those Kiss acrylic kits, the brush isn't that good of quality. And that's another thing. When you are doing acrylic nails, make sure you have a good quality brush, because your brush can make you or break you, and your brush will literally be the death of you if it's trash. But those Kiss acrylic kits do not come with good brushes. They're actually horrible. They're horrendous. And let me just say this. I did my nails. I did not have a drill. So all of my filing had to be by hand. And at some point I got tired, and I was just like, baby, this ain't gonna work. Like, this is not going to work. So what did I do? I stopped trying. I literally just stopped trying. And I just went to school like that the next day, trying to get them things off. And let me just say, they would not come off for nothing. They just would not come off. And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I can't hide my hands all day. So by the end of the day, I think I had all them things off. But I lied to my friends. I was like, yeah, the lady at the shop, she messed me up. But I ain't paid for it, though. Whole time, I did those nails with a Kiss acrylic kit at home. And I think at the time, it was like $14 maybe. I did not know what I was doing. I lied on that lady, that imaginary lady, because there was no lady, honestly. There really wasn't. But I had to make something up because them nails look horrendous. I didn't even take a picture of them. That's how horrendous they look. And if y'all want to see some of like my older nails, y'all can go on my page and y'all can look at my now versus back then nails, because my back then nails, oh, I thought I was eating back then. Those nails were not it. Now that I know what I'm doing, those nails were definitely not it. And I just was like, what the heck? Like, I used to think these nails were so cute. They were so good. They weren't. I can say I feel like I was more advanced as a starter, but they still were not that good. So, if you ever, like, when I say this is one of my bad days of like acrylic application, this is literally one of my bad days because I am flooding so bad. And I usually never flood like this, but it's all about cleanup. And this is what I mean, like, you're gonna have good days with acrylic, you're gonna have bad days with acrylic, but don't give up. Like, I used to be like, I don't know, like, if this is it. But I used to be so motivated, like, oh yeah, I want to do this. Like, this is something that I want to do. And here I am, years later, because I started doing my nails, like, when I was in high school. So, and I got my first actual real, well, not real acrylic kit, because I got my first, like, big kit off of Wish, because I'm going to tell you another story. I was in like 9th grade or 10th grade. My mom had owed me $40 for something. Now, what could my mom possibly owe me $40 for? I'm in the 6th grade. I don't know. But I said, oh my, you owe me $40. And I didn't have a debit card or anything. So I was like, oh, I want you to order this acrylic kit for me. And that's how I got my first acrylic kit. My mom owed me $40. The kit was, somehow it was $40. And she probably asked me to do something. I said, I'll do it for $40. I did it. And then I was like, she owed me $40. So she's going to buy me my kit. And that's probably exactly how it happened. But I don't know what she owed me $40 exactly for. But I got that $40 and she ordered it for me. So that's all that matters. And that's how like my acrylic nail journey had started. And I was on YouTube just watching a whole bunch of different YouTubers and things like that. And everybody's like, oh, I want you to help me start. Like, sometimes I have people like, oh, I want you to teach me, how to do acrylic or help me get better or whatever. And like one of my coworkers, she wants me to help her with acrylic. And I'm like, watch these videos of these people so you can get like the bases down. So like when I come over, you can already have like some type of knowledge of what you need, like what it's like and things like that. And people say, oh, YouTube is not the way. Back then, YouTube was the way. Now it's TikTok and YouTube still. But y'all, when I tell y'all, YouTube really got me to where I was at now, and just like a whole bunch of practice and everything. So shout out to YouTube, because it definitely was like nail academy for me. So that's how I got my first acrylic kit. I got it off of Wish. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was not the best acrylic kit, but it was something to start with, because I knew I did not have the money to, go and whatchamacallit, like, I know I didn't have the money to go buy none of these big name brand acrylics and stuff like that. And I just wanted to see if I really liked it, because when I would go to the nail salon, I was always interested in like what they would do, but they hold your hand a certain way, so you can't really see what's going on. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just watch some videos when I get home. And then I got really interested in it, so then I started buying more stuff, like smaller, like not like name brands, but I used to buy like Mia Secret and stuff like that. I never bought any like Valentino or stuff But I just bought it. I just bought like Mia Secret Clear, some of their cover powders and stuff, and their monomer. And I just got to work, got to, you know, doing what I like now, what I love now. And it just really like progressed over the years. So if you ever feel like nails is not like working out for you, give it a little bit of time, you know, watch your videos, take a class. And now there's more classes available, because back then when I was doing it, there weren't that many classes available. Nobody really, you know, doing classes. But if you do want to, then hey, so you have to start somewhere. Like, you literally have to start somewhere. It's not going to be perfect. It might be bumpy, you know, it might be considered what you consider ugly or whatever, but that's literally just a process of nails and trying to figure out how to, you know, smooth acrylic. Fun fact, my mom, she says this lady that she knew when she was younger tried to teach her how to do acrylic, and she just could not get it. So she just was like, I'm not into it. Her and her best friend got taught by the same lady. She's just like, she just couldn't do it. So it's not for everybody, but there are other nail systems out there that you can try, you know, to get used to nails. And then, you know, if you want to peek back into like acrylic nails, try it. Okay, this is going to be the last nail, and another technique is like, say if you feel like it's floating or it's going in the wrong direction, just try to use gravity as like your helper. So gravity is down, hold your nail down. Don't hold it up like this, because then where the acrylic is going to go, your acrylic is going to go this way instead of going this way. You would rather go down the nail than up by the cuticle. And gravity can definitely help or hurt you a lot, especially if your nail is tilted like this. You're definitely going to get acrylic in your cuticle, and that's something you don't want. I remember when I first did my first set, I got acrylic in my cuticle, and let me just say, did it hurt? It did. And trying to get that from around like that sensitive part of your cuticle, it's going to either hurt you or your client. And that's something that you don't want to do. Your second client, it's supposed to be something that's relaxing, you know, something that they're supposed to enjoy. So y'all, this whole time I'm talking, I didn't even know like this side of the nail was not even done. That's why I don't like holding my hand like this. So I gotta get more comfortable holding my hand the other way. But this will only take like a small piece like that. Take it off like this. And if you're new to acrylic, get you one of those mats that help you with your beads and things like that, like getting small beads and things of that nature, because that right there will really help you. And when you start doing nails, you'll know like, oh, I need this size bead to fill this hole, or I need this size to, you know, cover the whole nail, if you ever want to get to the point where it's just like a one bead method. So don't rush yourself and everything like that. And again, it's not the end all be all if you don't get it with acrylic, because you always have a drill, you always have a file, you know, whatever. This is what they look like after, you know, this is without shaping. So and I'm gonna tell you, they're not perfect. Like, even right now I could see where they're not perfect or whatever, but again, they don't have to be perfect, because after this, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna shape them. I'm gonna show y'all in detail how I shape them and how I get them crispy and everything. Like, this one right here is not straight, it's crooked, but I could fix that with a nail file. So it's not the end all be all if you don't feel like, oh, it's not up to par. And again, I'm just going in feeling the part that I feel like, oh, I could have done better on, or whatever. why I wasn't gonna use this color at first. I really like this color. This is like a good little like nude or whatever. And I don't remember what the name of it is. But if you are interested in this color, I'm about to show y'all what the color is. But if you're interested in this color, the color is, make sure at the end you clean your brush, you put it in the monomer, you dip it in there, wipe your brush off, flatten your bristles, you know, all of that. And then if you need to, put in some acetone. If you put in some acetone, put in some oil. And then when you start back again, make sure you put it back in acetone so you get that oil out, because that's not the problem. Because it can affect your acrylic application and how long your nails last. I hate when that happens. So this one is Nude Bar and DD170 by iGel Beauty. I usually go in the store to buy these. I don't really buy these online or anything. I go to the nail store. But this one is it's like a, I feel like it's a good nude. This is what it looks like or whatnot. And then if you like the one from earlier, this one is DD177 Teddy Bear. I guess the 170s are kind of like good colors, but this is for this one right here, Nude Bar, that's on my nails. And the one from earlier was Teddy Bear, if you were wondering when another one coming. But that's a surprise for another video. Okay, now we're about to get into shaping. So again, this is what they look like. Some people will be like, oh, they're perfect. They're not. This one might be on crooked. This finger is really hard to get straight, I'm not gonna lie to you. So if it looks crooked even after I file it, then it's the finger, not the nail. But I go in with these files right here. I got these out when I was in California. They're the 80 grit. They actually came in this pack right here. They're coarse, 50 in a bag. I got 2 of these. I don't even know how much they were. They were like $14 or so. Yeah, I don't know how much they were, but they were like $14 or whatever. I really like the coarse ones because, baby, when I say they get the job done, they get the job done. 80-80 is the way to go. I'm not gonna lie to you. 80-80 is the way to go. So I'm gonna start with filing. So as you can see, like I'm pushing like my nail back. You see like this part is connected. Make sure you get that out of the way when you start filing. And when you start, go under like this. And then you wanna switch to the side like this right here. And you wanna make sure you're not on the client's meat, because you can cut them with the side of these files. These files are sharp. I usually don't, what I don't do is like etch the files, which is like taking 2 files and going perpendicular. I don't usually do that, but you can just go in like this, right here. Take it from the other side, do the same thing. Just straighten it out. Get the underside of that, make sure it's straight. And then you want to hit the free edge. I like going this way instead of going this way because I have more control, and I know that it will be straighter if I go this way rather than this way, because your file can go, you know, start filing this way, be crooked, file that way, be crooked. So I just and you get kind of like the, I want to say the perfect free edge, but you get a good like free edge or whatever. And then I always take my file. Some people just do the sides, but I go over top like this. And this is what it looks like. That's the side view right there. Here's the other side view. but this is for the most part what it looks like. And I'm gonna do the same thing to the other nails. Just, you know, go on the sides like this. Make sure they're straight. Go under, make sure that's straight. And it's lined up with the natural nail. But continue to file like this. And for me, I tilt my file a little inward instead of like out like this. Again, I said this in my last video, do what works for you. So depending on how you hold your file is how it shapes. So if you want it like crisp, like if you could see right, I don't even know if y'all can see that. You see how it's a hole right there? That little space. I swear in person the hole is bigger. But that little space right there, you just file it, hold it in, file it, and it should make it straight. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Remember, separation, because you don't want to, sometimes when you don't separate, you cut your client. And basically, that's it. It might still be like a little hole in it because these files are slightly bent. I don't know if y'all can see it. That's why when I first started, I was doing like this. Because in the pack, they came like a little curved up. So, and I don't like that. So, that's why I was doing that. And then get the free edge. These are really much harder, so I do on these hands, I just go like this a little bit, but then I also go back in with my file and I do the same. So even if I do miss that portion of the nail, I just go back in with my file, my e-file, and I do the same. I didn't do the top of this one. Over it just like that. Hit the surface of it. And especially like stop filing until you like it. Don't overfile if you don't need to. Get it to your desired look, length, shape, you know, everything like that. And then see, filing that way is harder and it rocks the nail. So rocking the nail can cause it to not be straight. So that's why I'd rather do it the other way. And then as you can see, it's still not, this one's definitely not straight because of how I cut it, but I'm gonna hit it with the drill and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do that later. Because again, if the hand file can't get it, then guess who can? The E file. Yeah, it's really not straight, so I'm definitely gonna have to hit it with the E-file because I don't like how that's looking. And then hit the underside. the underside. Always do underside on one side, file the sidewall. And then do the same for the other side as well. Underside. Because you want that to be smooth, because if you don't, if it has like little ridges under it, it definitely will snag on hair, sometimes clothes, you know, stuff like that. And if you feel like you didn't get it good enough, get it with the drill. But be very careful with the drill, because you can mess up the look of the nail. You cause like dips in the nail and everything like that. So just be very careful with that. And these are a press-on set, so that's why that one came off so easily. I felt like that was gonna come off anyways, but I'm gonna glue it back on. These are not a press-on set, these are a pop-off set. But I'm gonna glue it back on. Just put a little bit of oil on there so it can come off easy later. Cause baby, I got more videos to do. Make sure I glue it back on straight. Okay, we're good. See, no biggie. Look, we can fix anything. And if y'all want to know what kind of glue I use for my nails, I use KM nail glue. I get it from my local local nail supply store. Just make sure that's on there, okay? And we're just gonna get back to filing just like that, like nothing ever happened. And when you're filing, make sure like whatever you do to one side, you do to the other, because if you don't, then your nail will look crazy. It will look lopsided. It will look uneven because you have filed down the acrylic on one side and you haven't done it for the other side. So always make sure like you file on both sides, not just one. And you'll be able to tell, like, if you look down at the nails like this and they look weird, or like one side has more, like for example, this, I don't know if it's picking it up on camera, but if I'm holding my nail straight, this side right here looks like it has more acrylic on it than this side. So I need to go back in. I need to file it so that it looks proportionate and it doesn't look even. Now I know people on the street is not gonna be looking like, oh my god, girl, the nail is unproportionate. But I could tell. Maybe some other nail techs can tell. But just make sure like it doesn't look too crazy. And sometimes it's not that it has more acrylic on one side. It might be just how you file. Like you might not have put more acrylic on one side than the other, but how you file it depends on how the nail turns out, how the nail's gonna look. So always remember, like, just make sure you do whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So after I'm done filing with my file, my 8080 grit file, because this is the truth, I'm gonna go in with I'm not really sure what size it is or whatever. It's this bit right here. It is I want to say a coarse fine bit, but that don't make sense. But whatever a CF is in Creations, this is a Creations bit. I want to say it's like a medium fine bit or something like that, or coarse fine. It might be a coarse fine bit. It might make sense. I don't know. I'm not gonna turn my drill all the way up high, but so basically when I'm doing this, I've done basically all the filing that I need to do. So I'm gonna go cuticle and just the full length of the nail. Sometimes I do go like this, so I can get it like extra crispy. Because sometimes the file just didn't get it all the way. But I always do like outside, then inner. Well, I'm not gonna say always, because like it's not always the same. It's just how I'm feeling at the moment, basically. And if you're a beginner and you're not okay with the drill, have it down on low. Like, I've been working with the drill for so long. I've cut myself. I've had times where I've cut clients, but mainly myself. Use the drill on yourself first. Get used to it on yourself. Pretty much, that's all I can tell you. Some people never get comfortable with it, and they just use a hand file. So, it just depends. But you're gonna go around like that, down the side, down this side. So, just go down the side like this. And if you have a longer nail, pull your bit out. Just a tad. Makes it easier. So, get and hit the underside if you want the underside to be a little bit thinner. Let's see. And to straighten it out, just go in just like that. Just to even it out. This is the nail that I was saying was like really, really crooked. So I'm going to show y'all how I'm going to fix it. But after you do the hand filing, you don't really have that much to file. So you should be good. Just going over it, getting those scratches out, kind of just smoothing the nail. But you see how crooked it is? Take this side and just go ahead and file it just like that. Just like that. And then hit the underside a little bit, and you're good to go. It's not crooked anymore. It's not slanted or anything. I feel like it could be a little bit straighter, but that's as straight as it's going to get. And just do it with all of them. Make sure they're super straight. You don't even have to put like a lot of pressure on it. Just go in just like that. And then And you always want to get around the cuticles to seal it. Make sure no water gets in and prevent lifting. Remember, always hit that cuticle, no matter what. And then I'm gonna dust them off to show y'all what they look like. This is what they look like right here. This is what they look like. That was my in detailed video of how got like dust all over my hands. This is my detailed video of how I do my application, my filing, my shaping, my e-filing. I also have a prep video up. It's gonna go up probably on December 1st. So yeah, this is what they look like right here. And I'm going to again show y'all all the products that I use. New bar, and I use this Secure Sky monomer, and then I also use this alcohol to clean my hands. I think it's peach scented. I'm not really sure. I think it is. That's what it is. But this is what they look like. This is the color. This is the color. New bar right here from Ideal Beauty. And then I also use those 80/80 grit files that really got that crisp shape. But yeah, this concludes today's video. And if you are new here, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. Turn on that post notification bell so you can see when I get notifications. And if you're a returner, thank you for coming back and watching. And thank you everybody for watching. Bye.